Hi there and welcome to this prepping channel. Today, we're going to be talking about basic prepper supplies. First off, what is prepping? Prepping, also known as disaster preparedness, is the act of preparing for a disaster. This could be a natural disaster, such as a hurricane or tornado, or a man-made disaster, such as an attack by a group or economic collapse. These scenarios are all plausible in today's day and age. There are many reasons why people choose to prep, but why should you prep? 1. Peace of mind. Knowing that you're prepared for whatever may come can give you peace of mind. 1. This is especially important if you live in an area that is prone to natural disasters. 2. Saving money. In the long run, prepping can save you money. 2. This is because you're less likely to need to rely on government assistance in the event of a disaster. 2. And if a disaster does occur, you won't have to buy things that may be in high demand at the time, which also typically leads to higher prices. 3. Helping others. If you're prepared, you can help others in the event of a disaster. 3. This is especially important if you live in a community that is not as well prepared. 4. Self-reliance. Prepping can help you become more self-reliant. 4. This is important because in the event of a disaster, you may not be able to rely on the government or other organizations for help. 5. A sense of community. Prepping can help you connect with your community and build relationships with other people who are also prepared. 5. This can be a valuable resource in the event of a disaster. 6. A sense of purpose. Prepping can give you a sense of purpose and make you feel like you're doing something to prepare for the future. 6. This can be a very rewarding feeling. What are the essentials? Food and water. This is the most important category of supplies. You should have enough food and water to last for at least 3 days, and preferably longer. When choosing food, you'll want to make sure it's non-perishable and easy to prepare. Some good options include canned goods, dried fruits and vegetables, and nuts. For water, you'll want to have at least 1 gallon per person per day. You can store water in bottles, jugs, or even in a bathtub. First aid supplies. This is essential for treating minor injuries and illnesses. A basic first aid kit should include bandages, antibiotic ointment, pain relievers, and antidiarrheal medication. You may also want to include items like tweezers, scissors, and thermometer. Tools and equipment. This includes things like flashlights, hammers, saws, and knives. These will be useful for a variety of tasks, such as building shelter, repairing equipment, and gathering food. Some other tools and equipment that you may want to consider include a multi-tool, a fire starter, and a compass. Shelter. This could be a tent, a camper, or even just a tarp. You'll need a place to stay warm and dry in the event of a disaster. If you're going to be staying in a tent, make sure you have a good sleeping bag and pad. You may also want to consider investing in a portable stove and fuel so that you can cook food and boil water. Communication. This includes things like radios, cell phones, and walkie-talkies. You'll need to be able to communicate with others in the event of a disaster. If you're going to be relying on cell phones, make sure you have a backup plan in case the power goes out. You may also want to consider getting a ham radio license so that you can communicate with others even if the cell phone network is down. Security. This includes things like guns, knives, and locks. You'll need to be able to protect yourself and your family in the event of a disaster. If you're going to be carrying a gun, make sure you're properly trained in how to use it. You may also want to consider getting a home security system. Money. This is essential for purchasing supplies and services in the event of a disaster. You'll want to have some cash on hand, as well as a way to access your bank account. If you're going to be using cash, make sure you store it in a safe place. Other miscellaneous supplies. This could include things like batteries, candles, matches, and duct tape. These will be useful for a variety of tasks. Some other miscellaneous supplies that you may want to consider include a first aid manual, a survival guide, and a map of your area. How much should you prep? The amount of prepping you need to do will depend on your individual circumstances. However, it's a good idea to have at least a 3-day supply of food and water on hand. You should also have a first aid kit, tools and equipment, shelter, communication, security, and money. Where should you store your supplies? You should store your supplies in a safe place that's easy to access. This could be a closet, a basement, or a garage. You'll also want to make sure that your supplies are properly labeled so that you can find them easily in an emergency. How do you maintain your supplies? You should regularly check your supplies to make sure they're still good. You should also rotate your food and water supplies so that you're always using the oldest items first. Here are some additional tips for prepping. Start by assessing your needs. What are the most important things you need to have in case of a disaster? This will vary depending on your individual circumstances. 1. Make a plan. Once you know what you need, make a plan for how you're going to get it and where you're going to store it. 2. Be realistic. Don't try to prep for every possible disaster. 2. Focus on the most likely ones and the ones that would have the biggest impact on you and your family. 3. Keep your preps up to date. As your needs change, so should your preps. 3. Make sure you're regularly checking and rotating your supplies. 4. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're not sure where to start, there are many resources available to help you. 4. Talk to your friends, family, or neighbors, or search online for prepper communities. 5. Start small and build your supplies over time. Stay informed about current events. 1. Join a prepper community. In conclusion, as we wrap up today's video, prepping is a personal decision. However, it's a good idea to have at least a basic level of prepping in place. This will help you be prepared for whatever may come. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below and let us know if there are any topics that you would like discussed in the future. And be sure to subscribe to the channel to learn more about prepping and share the video with others that may have a passion for prepping or are prepper curious. Preparing for a disaster can be daunting, but it's important to remember that you don't have to do it alone. There are many resources available to help you get started. I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for watching.